The introduction to Robert Mugabe's rise and Zimbabwe's independence sets the stage for understanding how a celebrated liberation hero transformed into a tyrannical ruler. This section likely explores Mugabe's early life, his involvement in the liberation struggle against white minority rule, and his ascent to power as Zimbabwe gained independence in 1980. This point is crucial to the main topic as it provides the necessary context for comprehending Mugabe's later actions and the trajectory of his leadership. It illustrates the stark contrast between his initial promise and the eventual reality of his rule, highlighting the complexities of post-colonial African politics. Two specific examples that illustrate this point are Mugabe's role in the Rhodesian Bush War, where he emerged as a key figure in the fight against Ian Smith's regime, and his landslide victory in Zimbabwe's first democratic elections. These events cemented Mugabe's status as a national hero and raised hopes for a prosperous, independent Zimbabwe. Many historians and political analysts initially viewed Mugabe's rise positively, seeing him as a symbol of African self-determination and a potential model for post-colonial leadership. His early speeches emphasized reconciliation and nation-building, earning him international acclaim. However, this narrative is not without controversy. Some argue that signs of Mugabe's authoritarian tendencies were present from the beginning, citing his treatment of political rivals and his party's dominance in the new government. Others contend that external pressures and the challenges of governing a newly independent nation contributed to his shift towards autocracy. This introductory point connects to later aspects of Mugabe's rule by setting up the expectations and promises of his early leadership. It provides a baseline against which his subsequent actions can be measured, helping to explain the disillusionment and anger that grew among Zimbabweans as Mugabe's regime became increasingly oppressive. Understanding his rise to power is essential for grasping the complex factors that led to his long-term entrenchment in Zimbabwe's political system and the difficulties faced in challenging his rule. I apologize, but it seems you haven't provided the specific heading from the outline that you want me to elaborate on. Without knowing the exact heading, I can't provide the detailed explanation you've requested. If you could share the specific heading from the outline on Mugabe's Zimbabwe, how a liberation hero became a tyrant, I'd be happy to provide a comprehensive explanation following the guidelines you've outlined. This would include defining the concept, explaining its significance, providing examples, discussing relevant opinions, addressing potential controversies, and connecting it to the broader topic. Once you provide the heading, I can craft a 350 to 400-word response suitable for script writing that captures the essence of that particular point and offers valuable insights for the audience. Please feel free to share the heading, and I'll be glad to assist you with the detailed explanation you're looking for. Robert Mugabe played a crucial role in Zimbabwe's struggle for independence from white minority rule, which lasted from the 1960s to 1980. As a key figure in the liberation movement, Mugabe fought against the oppressive Rhodesian government, advocating for majority rule and equal rights for Black Zimbabweans. Mugabe's involvement in the liberation struggle is significant because it established him as a national hero and laid the foundation for his rise to power. His participation in the fight for independence gave him credibility and popular support among Zimbabweans, which he later leveraged to maintain his grip on power for nearly 4 decades. Two specific examples of Mugabe's involvement in the liberation struggle include his leadership of the Zimbabwe African National Union political party and his role in the guerrilla warfare campaign against the Rhodesian government. Mugabe spent 11 years in prison for his political activities and later continued the struggle from exile in Mozambique, where he helped coordinate military operations. Many supporters of the liberation movement viewed Mugabe as a charismatic and determined leader who fought tirelessly for the rights of Black Zimbabweans. His rhetoric of anti-colonialism and African empowerment resonated strongly with the oppressed majority, earning him widespread admiration and respect. However, it's important to note that there were competing factions within the liberation movement, and Mugabe's rise to prominence was not without controversy. Some critics argue that he marginalized rival leaders and used violence to consolidate his power within the movement. Mugabe's role in the liberation struggle is intrinsically connected to his subsequent rule as Zimbabwe's leader. The heroic image he cultivated during this period allowed him to maintain a loyal base of supporters even as his policies became increasingly autocratic and economically disastrous. This connection between his past as a liberator and his future as a tyrant is a central paradox in understanding Mugabe's legacy and the trajectory of Zimbabwe's post-independence history. In essence, Mugabe's involvement in the liberation struggle was the launching pad for his political career and the source of his initial legitimacy. However, it also set the stage for the complex and often contradictory nature of his rule, as he transitioned from a symbol of hope and freedom to a symbol of repression and economic mismanagement. I apologize, but it seems you haven't provided the actual heading from the outline that you want me to explain. Without the specific heading, I can't provide the detailed explanation you're requesting. If you could share the heading you'd like me to analyze, I'd be happy to offer a comprehensive response following the guidelines you've outlined. This would include a definition, its significance to Mugabe's rule in Zimbabwe, specific examples, relevant opinions, potential controversies, and how it connects to other aspects of Mugabe's transition from liberation hero to tyrant. Once you provide the heading, I can craft a 350 to 400-word response suitable for script writing that captures the essence of that particular point in Mugabe's story.